We arrived at Thorungfedi just before dark. An 8-hour day with an elevation gain of over 1,000 meters. Long, tiring, and risky before a summit of the Thorungla Pass. But I was fine other than feeling the long day on the trail.
It's about 7:30, and I'm in my room here in the guest house at Thorungfedi. This is the little trekking enclave just below the Thorungla Pass. And above us, about 500 meters above us, is another little lodge. You can stay at a base camp to give you a little bit more of an advantage when you get up early in the morning to make the trek up to the Thorungla Pass at 5,416 meters. It's extremely cold here right now. I'm really tired. We had a long day. We trekked all the way from Manang. So we've been trekking for over 8 hours. It's extremely cold, like I said, and I need to get some sleep because I've got to wake up at about 2:30 so we could prepare to make it up the pass before 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning before the really strong winds start coming in. So good night. Okay, it's 3:43, and I'm just leaving the room now, and we're on our way up the Thorungla Pass. Here we go. Okay, we have reached a high camp here on Thorungla Pass. We've been trekking for about an hour, and so we still got quite a ways to go, maybe another 3 hours of trekking to reach the pass.
I'm not a huge fan of trekking in the dark. I feel more tired, frustrated, and generally uncomfortable, so sometimes these summit days don't start out too pleasant for me. But when the first light comes up in the sky, my spirits are all of a sudden lifted. I feel light, full of energy, and excited to reach our goal, in most cases, the hardest day of the journey. Yes, there is a horse on the trek. Some choose a horseback ride up to the top of the pass. For most, though, it's usually a 4 to 5 hour walk from Thorungfedi. Some stay at Thorung High Camp, just over 300 meters higher, which will slice an hour off your morning summit. Whenever you reach the summit of a pass, which inevitably is part of many treks in Nepal, the feeling of accomplishment, relief, elation is mutual with all of your fellow trekkers.
Hi, John Sabot, Far East Adventure Travel here on the Annapurna circuit, and we made it this morning to the top of the Thorungla Pass, not without some challenging conditions. There were some icy sections of the trail at the start, and we also had to deal with some loose snow as there had been some snowfall here in the last few days. But we're very, very blessed that we had a bluebird day, just an absolutely spectacular day here. And we're now just enjoying our accomplishment and the moment here on the Thorungla Pass, 5,416 meters.
The Thorungla Pass at 5,416 meters is the widest mountain pass in the world. It's always a place with dangerously high winds that start as early as 8 a.m., so our time on the pass was limited to less than an hour before we started to descend. Just over a year ago, this was the site of one of the most tragic trekking accidents in the history of the Annapurna Circuit Trail. On October 14, 2014, a snowstorm struck the Annapurna, Manang, and Mustang districts of Nepal, causing severe avalanches. In the end, over 400 people were rescued from the area, with at least 43 deaths, which included 21 trekkers. Because the previous few days brought fresh snowfall to the region, descending down to Muktanath and Ranapawa, our next stop, would be treacherous and tiring. Roughly 4 to 5 hours of carefully trying to keep from sliding on my butt was challenging, and on more than a couple of occasions, I was defeated by the conditions. Arriving at Muktanath, the religious site that is both sacred to Buddhists and Hindus, and the neighboring Ranapawa village, where we would lodge, felt like Shangri-La. After the long trek of summiting the Thorungla Pass and the rough and tumble descent, gazing at Dhaulagiri, the 7th highest mountain in the world, seemed like the perfect way to end the day. The next morning, I had more time to walk through the village and enjoy the views of the Mustang region. This is one of the most wonderful settings in Nepal. The dry region filled with captivating views of Himalayan peaks, Buddhist monasteries, and pilgrims that have journeyed from all over South Asia to visit Muktanath.
Hi, John Sabot, Far East Adventure Travel. After crossing the very famous Thorongla Pass at 5,416 meters, this is the very first real significant village or enclave that you will come across, Muktanath, and Muktanath Temple. Muktanath Temple is extremely important as far as a pilgrimage for Buddhists and Hindus all over South Asia, and we're going to take a tour right now of this very famous site.
For some Hindus, the central shrine of Muktanath is considered one of the 8th most sacred shrines in Asia. This is a Vishnu temple, one of the oldest and most revered in South Asia. The prakaram, or outer courtyard of the temple, has 108 bowl faces through which sacred water is poured. Many devotees will take baths, even in freezing temperatures, in the pools at the complex. Buddhists revere Muktanath for the fact that the founder of Tibetan Buddhism, Guru Rinpoche, meditated here on his way to Tibet. Their name for the temple complex is Chuma Gyatso, Tibetan for 100 waters. We all took a turn catching some of the holy water. Hari, being a Buddhist, was all in with his hat off and splashing the sacred water on his face. I took the conservative approach while running my hand through all 108 taps. Some will run under the spouts with nothing more than shorts or a bathing suit or even underwear in a total devotional effort to bring good karma and luck to their life. I just wanted to stay warm while participating in my spiritual quest. You don't need to be Hindu either to have one of the priests on duty perform a puja or prayer for you. Just a donation, which can be whatever you think is fair.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we go there?
Yeah.
Further away from the main temple complex is another holy site, the Goddess of Fire Temple, where 3 eternal flames are located. The natural gas spouts are called the Holy Flame from rock, Holy Flame from soil, and Holy Flame from water. The close proximity of the flames, holy flowing water, and the earth which surrounds it are the reasons for Muktanath's prominence as an important pilgrimage site. As with many holy sites throughout Nepal and India, photography of the flames is not permitted. Hindus in particular will travel from as far away as South India to visit the site. Some even fly in from Kathmandu by helicopter, but due to the rapid rise in elevation can only stay for a short time. After crossing the Thorongla Pass, many will travel through Muktanath and Ranapawa, only stopping for a short few hours before making their way to Kagbeni. I highly recommend at least staying one night in Ranapawa. The village is simple, charming, and friendly. You will receive attention from the local trinket sellers, but it's usually just good-hearted. The views of the surrounding Mustang region are breathtaking, and there's an air of peace here that probably hasn't changed much since Guru Rinpoche's meditative stop.
After trekking the Annapurna circuit and then finally making the crossing of the Thorongla Pass, it's really enjoyable just to relax here in Ranapawa, Muktanath, and take in some of the beautiful views of the Himalaya, including the 7th highest mountain in the world, Dhaulagiri. It's just before 8 o'clock in the morning, and this is just a must-do when you're in this area, to take this route and go through some of these traditional Tibetan villages that were a part of the original kingdom of Lo, Mustang, and it still is considered Mustang region, but you don't need a special permit to travel through here. Beautifully preserved Tibetan villages and amazing Himalayan views with Dhaulagiri, the 7th highest mountain in the world, in the background. It's just unbelievable.
Mustang was once an independent kingdom, only fully coming into the fold of Nepal in 2008. Up until 1992, the Upper Mustang was completely closed off to the rest of the world. Having visited there myself to view this still preserved Tibetan culture and relatively untouched region, I appreciated the similarities the Lower Mustang offers. And there's no need for a special permit to trek here, other than a regular Annapurna circuit trekking permit. Along with tourism, animal husbandry is still one of the main sources of income, as well as farming.
So this is sea buckthorn,
Yes.
high in vitamin C,
Yeah.
very good for you.
Then
Yeah.
it's made by like a juice, Shibokthorn juice.
Yes.
Some things. Then make a Shibokthorn tea, Shibokthorn juice. Everything. This is the sweet and sour.
Sea buckthorn grows in abundance here. The nutritious pulp from the berries is used to make syrups, teas, other drinks, and is also used in cosmetic products. The most atmospheric of all the villages is probably Jong. With its ancient crumbling fortress and hilltop temple, it feels like the setting of a fairy tale, or a Star Wars or Lord of the Rings shooting locale. We climbed up to the very top of the hill where the temple is located to enjoy some of the sweeping views of this side of the Himalaya. What seemed like an apple tree growing out of the roof was really rooted in the little courtyard below, where we met one of the young novices of the monastery. This region could be its own little trekking trip, with wonderful walks through these villages and comfortable stays in Jomsum, Kegbeni, and Ranapawa Muktanath.
This is Putak village.
On our way to Kegbeni, we stopped to marvel at the peaks in the distance, including the Thorong La.
Okay, so that one is, the first one is Yakigang.
Yeah.
This one is Tarongla, yeah. And the next one?
The next one is also Tarongla Peak Range.
Oh, so this is all Tarongla Peak Range.
Yes.
Okay.
And that one is Chilicha Peak and Nilgiri.
And that's Nilgiri.
As wonderful a trekking day this can be, it's important for comfort to be done the majority of the walking for the day by the early afternoon, as the winds are quite strong through the Kalagandaki Gorge.
It's after 11 o'clock in the morning, and already the winds have picked up, the infamous winds of the Kalagandaki Gorge here in Mustang, Nepal. That's why it's so critical to do your trekking earlier in the morning, if you can, in this region, to avoid some of these winds.
By the noon hour, we reached the wonderful crossroads of the Annapurna Circuit and Upper Mustang regions, Kegbeni, a town loaded with layers of Bon and Buddhist culture, Kenis, guardians or protector statues, and an old fortressed village. Next time on Far East Adventure Travel, the ancient village of Kegbeni and the conclusion to trekking the great Annapurna Circuit.